Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to my channel of Unbecoming. And I just wanted to give you guys a breakdown of what I've been doing. Um, a while back, I have been studying just bits and pieces on the things of the demonic spirit and deliverance, because I know for me in my life, sometimes if you look at your life and you feel like you're not moving in one area of your life, or um, you should know within your family life whether or not something is going on. So, like for me and my family, I knew that there was kind of something going on in the background, something from generations. And if you go through my videos, I talk about that also. But I knew that something wasn't quite right. You know what I mean? And especially with me reading and trying to break things off of my life. So I have been studying on it for myself for a while before I went and got deliverance. I ended up getting deliverance about 2 months ago because I got enough knowledge, and I knew the things that I was praying for to God, I couldn't break it off of me. You know what I mean? So I got enough knowledge and understanding for me, and enough understanding for me to relay it to you guys about some things generational that could be going on in your life. Or if you're trying to figure out, like, just things like fear, being stagnated, not moving, nothing is working out, and you just feel like you're still in the same position forever. Sometimes you have to do an inventory of yourself. So I am going to read Ephesians 12 and no, Ephesians 6 and 12, okay? And it says, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places." Now, here's the thing. It's not always, everything is not just almost always demonic, demon inside us. Because as believers, that can't dwell in us. You know what I mean? It would be very well on the outside. But in some people lives, for mine as an example, I knew that something was going on, because I knew that my grandma dealt with witchcraft way back then. I was a little girl and I remember, but I also remember her going to church. So I'm making sure that I'm breaking things off of my life where my kids won't have to carry or struggle with the things that I had to struggle with. Okay, so I wrote down some notes for us, for me. I actually have 2 notebooks full, but I wrote down some notes that I wanted to share with you guys. And it says, first of all, you're going to read Ephesians 6, 12 through 17. Number one, what does the devil do? He tries to attack your flesh first. That's the main thing he's going to do, attack your flesh first, okay? Okay. He does that by studying you and knowing when you are vulnerable. He sows things into you like loneliness, discouragement, self-pity, doubt. Anything that Satan knows that he can use against you, he will. He will. For me, at one point in my life, I only would date people that I was familiar with. You know what I mean? So even on my journey of my walk, Satan used to try to send people that I was familiar with, because I don't do all that outside and all that getting to know people. You got to know people. People crazy. So he was saying people like that I was familiar with, that I knew, or end up having a relationship before and probably came back. So I got smart enough. I outsmarted him after seeing the patterns. So I no longer do familiar people, even though I'm not dating, period. But I no longer do familiar people as far as relationships will go, okay? So you got to know yourself and pay attention to the patterns and what cycles and what Satan brings your way. Secondly, sometimes we are stagnated or not growing because there is a battle that may be going on in you or around you that you have no idea about, some type of force or evil spirit. Though we can't see them, we may be surrounded by a wicked spirit being. Okay, and I also wrote, the devil can only enter through sin. Now, when I say the devil can only enter through sin, which is true, I had a point in my life where I was talking to one of my ex or whatever the case may be. And, you know, you stay on the phone and you're talking and you're laughing and you're reminiscing, doing what you do. And sometimes, and a lot of times, if you end up talking about your past with your ex, those thoughts or the things that you used to entangle with will come back to memory. And if you're doing it on an everyday basis, just talking to this person, then your mind start wondering, well, what if I have a relationship with this person? Or what if I, you know, fornicate with this person? We're going to call it what it is, sleeping around. And eventually, if you think on it so long or plan it over and over in your head, that sin is bound to happen. It's bound to happen. That's just what it is. If you think on something too long, or some kind of sin, something that's no good, if you think on it long enough, you will. Just like when people go stealing in stores, they have to first of all get a feel of knowing that they can do that. But you think about it like, oh, you know what, this person's going to be here, so, or in the back doing whatever they're doing, and you're able to go in that store and steal, right? Because you already studied that thing for over a period of time, whether it's a day or two, and you go back in there and get the stuff. That's the same way how sins work. Actually, you think on it first, to a certain degree, and then there it goes. It just explodes and happens. Okay, so some ways that, for me, that you can get some of this off of you, as far as generational curses, strongholds. And strongholds is a mindset. It all depends on where you at in your life. For me, I did do praying and fasting. Then I got to a point where I couldn't fast, that there was something there binding me up where I couldn't fast. So I knew I had to reach out to somebody that was a lot more, let me see how I want to say it, effective in that area, like a pastor or evangelist. I actually had to get somebody to do my deliverance because I knew I couldn't do it. Sometimes it's going to require outside help, but you have to know that person, and not even know that person, you have to ask God for confirmation of some sort. For me, that's what happened. He gave me the okay. So praying and fasting and deliverance are some things you can use against kingdom darkness. One thing about it, Satan is not like Jesus. He cannot be at one place at the same time. So he, which is Satan, he sends his agents out as in order to mess up your life. He or to get you distracted, like my daughter just did, walked in. But like demons, demonic, unclean spirits, evil spirits, lying spirit, familiar spirits, in order to disturb you. So yeah, this is my YouTube. So that is my daughter just getting home from school. But yeah, that is some of the demonic names, some of the spirit names that you may hear. Okay, we should all know the goal of Satan is to make you doubt, sad, attack the physical body, cause unbelief, entice you, harass you, enslave you, and cause bad habits or addictions. And it's a lot more. It's just, these are my notes of what I wanted to give you guys. Okay, some things are spirits from Satan. Number one, fear. And there's a different type of fear. You have two types of fear. You have a fear that God gives you, a natural type of fear, especially when God calls you to do something for him. You're going to have a sense of fear. You know what I mean? But that's the natural fear, or fearing of God, of doing something wrong, knowing, you know what I'm saying, you know who God is. Then you have the fear that Satan gives you, which it stagnates you. It holds you up from doing the things of God, the will of God. It will not let you go past, like you just be so fearful. It won't let you do these things because you feel it's going to fail. That's not of God at all. That is not of God at all. So you have to pray about that fear and anxiety that's in your life. Okay, number 2, spirit of lust. That falls in the category with fornication, homosexuality, prostitution, and adultery, and porn. That falls in the category of that. Then you have the spirit of bondage, and that's addiction, smoking, drinking, drugs, gambling, etc. Because there's a lot more that you can put under the spirit of bondage. Okay, and then you have the spirit of infirmity, which is your sickness. You know what I'm saying? Your diabetes, arthritis, acute illness, chronic illness, cancer, mental disorders. People think that some mental disorders are not curable, but it is. It is. Some are. But, you know, mental health is a big thing right now. That also falls under the spirit of infirmities. Now, the spirit of pride is revenge, rebellion, anger, criticism, cruelty, jealousy, being stuck up with that attitude, and arrogance. It's a lot more under that category as well. Now you have the spirit of Python, which operates through Freemason, New Age, fortune telling, satanic worship, horoscopes, zodiac signs, charms, and it's a whole list of that too. But I was just giving you a list of things that go under some of the spirits with the names. Now, it's much more when you decide to go deeper. And if I was you, you ask God, and that's on you if you want to go deeper. But always look up the things that people are telling you in the scriptures. Always look that stuff up so that you will know that you're getting the true knowledge and asking God to show you what you need to know. But that is how I determined and did what I did for myself and my family. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm going into a whole spiritual warfare, demonic type of thing. No, I just touched the surface of it. In due time, I will be learning more because I'm curious about it. But if you need to know anything about yourself and what you're dealing with, go to God first. He's the one that's going to give you everything you need and show you. That's how I knew where I needed to go in order to get free from some things from my past, from generations up until now. Until next time, if this was good information, just hit the like and share button. Have a good one.